Welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Let me cover myself back up. I'm walking. We're gonna hit the high point here because if you can't tell, I'm a little under the weather. No one likes to film and do videos when they're under the weather. I'm actually fighting right now. My body is fighting and has been fighting since Thursday. And I kind of hit a wall yesterday. If you watch the previous video, you're going to see how I didn't know it at the time. I knew I wasn't feeling, you know, when you start to feel like you're getting sick and you're like doing this, yeah. And man, the circles under my eyes have been awful. So obviously there's parts of this video, you know, I don't like speaking in riddles to a degree. But I think we're all smart enough to understand why folks on social media have to. And I think it's important, though. What's more important is that you are able to read between the lines. And that you can probably by now sort of decode some things. So if that gets on your nerves, I can't help it. I didn't make the rules. Okay. So here's the deal. What I want to talk about is I have been going downhill for a couple of days. And as I've gotten older, like you may have become more in tune with your body as you get older. It's a very strange and wonderful thing, but it's definitely doable. I don't know why this coat's about to... So see, I'm breaking a sweat. So what I've done is I started getting icky and breaking a sweat. I've sort of rested this afternoon. Been watching The English. Have you ever watched that? It's on Amazon Prime, and 6 episodes, and I just finished episode 3. It's just now really gotten good. I really like it. So I did everything this morning. Fast forward, I decided to rest the afternoon. Can't sleep, so I just sort of, guys, I've actually been off of my feet. And then, oh look, hi. You can see I'm in pajamas again. And so I've come up here to do the animals and walk because I could tell I was breaking a sweat just sitting there. So it was time to come do the animals, and I'm making myself walk. So let's talk about this for a second. I am not a doctor, and I am not giving you medical advice. I am simply stating what has worked for me in recent years when I felt like I could be getting sick from different things, okay? Number one thing, so we're just going to I'm going to broad brush my story. You take from it as you want, but I will tell you one thing. Being prepared with medications, whatever you need and can get, is so paramount. Because when you start to go downhill, the very last thing that anybody wants to do is have to be running around racing to find, you know, Mucinex or whatever else. Now, last year, which would be a year and 2 months ago, when we had the dreaded COVID, I made a couple of videos about this, okay? So I made some, I told some things that we did and things that we kept on hand, and I will go over that again with you here as well. But the main point here is it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how old you are, whatever. And I know right now is a really bad time. See, this is another reason why I made these videos, or at least one video talking about please get your medications. Back in the summertime, I was making rounds, picking up. I didn't wipe out shelves or anything like that, but I was like, okay, an extra thing of Tylenol, extra thing of Mucinex. Yeah, I'll take some Alka-Seltzer. Okay, cough drops, nasal rinse, all of those basic things, stuff for nausea, whatever. Now, every person when they get sick is sort of a subjective thing, but I want you to also think outside the box. First thing I want you to do in this day and age, if I say do anything as far as advice, hi Ginger, when you start to feel that you are likely getting a little sick, you need to go into self-care mode immediately. What that is for you, I don't know. If it's drinking more fluids, if it's taking a Mucinex because you're starting to get a little congested, if it's take a nap, if it's see if you have a fever, if it's, you know, you got to start granny witching yourself. And when I say that, I always get people that go, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What's she talking about? Is she a shaman? No, but I do know some things, and I try to keep them well practiced. I will recommend for you, because I'm probably going to either probably tonight. It seems like I've got it under control. I'm going to be making my homemade cough syrup. So here's that moment of, we're not talking about conventional medications over the counter. I'm not talking about, Motrin or Tylenol or whatever. I'm talking about whiskey. I'm talking about lemon juice, peppermint, horehound. Please have horehound candy. At a minimum, if you can grow horehound, even better. I've grown it at the previous home. It was hard to keep. At least here it was. But you can buy it as candies. Molasses. Please have 2 things. Like I said, you can get it anywhere. You can get molasses and honey. Make sure in your pantry that you have, hear me out, whiskey, molasses, honey, horehound. If you have those, you're probably going to be doing pretty doggone good. But this is about listening to yourself and understanding that we are not in a time that it's easy to expect someone else to take care of you in a basic sickness situation. And you're going to have to take it upon yourself to understand that you should attempt in all ways to educate yourself to what I refer to as granny witching yourself. I've got my buddy here. Hi, honey. Where you going? There's also things for you to look into, and I really enjoy having you folks in the comment section give ideas about things, because it helps sort of guide us with things that work. But what I want to say is, if you're sitting there healthy right now and you haven't had a problem this year, which we haven't, nobody else has been under the weather but me and fighting it like me, so it is what it is. But you cannot overlook this. You are guaranteed sickness. You are guaranteed sickness. You are guaranteed taxes. And unfortunately, at some point, we're all guaranteed death, right? Right. So death and taxes, we never escape them. But we don't escape being sick either. So when you know winter is here and you know that things are rough, your preparedness is what's going to pull you out of the ditch. So this is another moment that I want to talk to you about, is the fact that you may not necessarily be sick, but people in your family, people down the road, your neighbor, your children, I don't know, people you go to church with, they may become sick. There's a lot of people sick right now. And there's also a battle for appropriate medical attention and appropriate medications. You just might be the person that not only can save yourself or someone in your family, but someone down the road. Depending upon the individual, depending upon the sickness, and depending upon a lot of variables. Basic treatment with basic things very early, like in my case, I think have prevented a disaster. I knew on Thursday that I was not beginning to feel right, had some issues, and so I went full bore. I think I'm getting sick. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I'm going to start taking these steps. I have made sure that I've increased my liquids. I am walking. Please walk. Now, I know I'm not a doctor, but I know that if you've got a high temperature and you've got muscle ache and you can't get up out of bed, I understand that. But if you're not at that level yet, or you're trying to break out of that level, I know that works for me. I work my barn. I'll come up and walk my driveway once or twice. I'm not killing it, but I am doing it. I'm keeping my body flowing. I'm keeping the mucus flowing. I'm keeping my blood flowing. That works for me. Working through a lot of the times when I'm sick, I ain't out here baling hay and putting, I'm not, like I said, but I'm physically active, just making it go. I have found in sweating a little bit, drinking a little bit more, showering afterwards. I do tend to rest better when I rest. I tend to work things up and get them out. If my body needs to purge in some form or fashion, that little bit of exercise, and it's a mental thing, because you have to go, I gotta get up, I gotta get up, I gotta get up, I gotta get up. But I'm telling you, you know this, we all know this, early treatment, you don't wait until you can't get out of the bed. So I'm encouraging you to do whatever you can to get a book on herbs, basic remedies. Make sure you have the basic items, the thermometers. Gosh, a nasal rinse is huge in a lot of ways, and a lot of different things. And to be early in taking care of yourself. Let me tell you what, I'm gonna say this. Every homestead, every farm, every community has 1 or 2 people, usually, that when they go down, everything goes down. I can't afford to go down. My husband can't afford to go down. James is not sick at all. But this, nobody's sick. It's just me. It's really strange. Maybe the fatigue, ladies, maybe the fatigue from the past 4 to 6 weeks, pre-Thanksgiving, doing Thanksgiving, the stress that I had with Belle was traumatic. And then Christmas, and then trying to prepare for what happened with the weather. I think my body just said, we've had enough. You're going to take a break for a couple of days, girl. Walk through that valley, but when you know you've entered the gate, you better take it serious. So I'm doing okay so far. I think I'm going to just whoop this, no problem. I've been in this battle for a couple of days, and you can feel when your body's trying to fight it and it's trying to suck you back in, and then you're taking care of yourself and you feel your body pushing it all back. So I want to encourage you here on New Year's Day 2023 to be very aware of what you need to be doing for you, your pantry, and your medicine cabinet. Please get those very basic items and constantly have them. Be going through your pantry. Like I said on my previous video, I'm a little out of breath. On my previous video, once I get past this little lick here, January is a total recount organization month. A lot of people like to rest in January. Yeah, I get a little rest. I get it. I know. Don't overdo it. Overdoing it is not good for us, but at the same time, I would really be organized. And any time that you can take advantage of getting much needed items for your medicine pantry or your pantry in general, please do so, because like I said, if somebody's sick and you say, well, do you have this or you do that? Do you have this? Do you have that? You know as well as I do, 9 times out of 10, most people don't. They just don't. And so you are what I would call, even if you're not whipping up some strange concoction that you haven't figured out that your great-great-granddaddy did. I've told you that story, right? Have I told you that story? I'll tell you this story. I think I've told you before. I'll tell you this and I'll wrap it up because I'm going to have to get my water. So my great-great-grandfather, who was born in Blount County, he apparently was quite good at a few things. And he learned some tricks from folks in North Carolina, right across the line, state line, like-minded people. And he could absolutely take out your tonsils with no surgery. He could whip up a concoction that would literally dissolve your tonsils. No surgery. The people of Appalachia and the people in these mountains didn't look to, CVS pharmacy. They didn't look to the VA. They didn't look to all these places. They didn't have them. They did what they knew they had to do. They did what their ancestors did. No, I haven't figured out exactly what is involved with this tonic. So I will tell you that, except we have guesstimated one item, which would be cayenne pepper. And I've asked a lot of people, and it's a mystery. But again, here's that moment. These people didn't run to the doctor. They took care of themselves. That's the beauty of our ancestors. All right, guys, I know I sound a little wonky, so I'm gonna get back to the house. My animals are good. Everybody's fed and put up. I'm gonna finish this walk. I'll keep you posted if anything traumatic happens. I don't expect anything traumatic to happen. I'm gonna get some good rest. Hope you've had a wonderful New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If you had your black-eyed peas, God love your heart. You would have my share. Just give me the cornbread and some milk, and I'll be just as happy, I promise. You can have my black-eyed peas, okay? Okay. Guys, we're going to have more videos coming up this week. It might be a delay in a day. I don't know, depending on how this goes. I don't plan on it. I plan to whoop it. We're going to whoop it. Whoop it good. Whip it good, right? And take care out there. Go to your medicine cabinet. Look it over. And I know a lot of comments are going to say, I can't get this. I understand. Learn from this. Learn from this. Imagine being deathly sick and you need Tylenol, or you need X, or you need molasses. All of these simple things that you could have gotten 3 to 6 months ago, and you knew you should have, and you didn't. I'm not trying to guilt you. What I'm trying to walk you through here is the lesson. Having these basic supplies and basic items and the knowledge of using them just on a basic level is just as important as stocking anything else in your pantry, my pantry, our pantry. All right, Ginger, you going up for the night? You gonna tell everybody bye? Do I get lovies? Of course I do. Guys, we appreciate you. Happy New Year. It's game on. Every single moment you're living through right now, everything. Look at it, evaluate it, think about it, learn from it. There's a reason for it. We'll see you on the next video.